You've been watching the channel, you know that a little over a month ago, most of my camera gear was stolen, about $30,000 of camera gear. And they basically broke into my house, into my garage, got into the vehicle, and took the gear that I'd packed in there the night before heading out on a big trip. And since then, I've been working with my insurance company to get a settlement, and we finally reached a settlement. So we're going to talk about that settlement, what I've learned from my insurance company, and what kind of policies for camera gear you probably should have, at least what I've experienced. So let's talk about it. I wanted to record this video outside, but the weather was not cooperating. It was raining and snowing a little bit and way too windy. So I just really couldn't record outside. The audio would have just been horrible. So here I am in the studio, and I haven't recorded in here in a long time. So I had to get the lights set up, the microphone set up, this camera set up, and what I'm filming myself with right now is a Canon R7 with a 16mm 2.8. Works pretty good. It's about 22, 24 millimeters basically with the 1.6 crop. It's a real good setup for what I'm doing here. And the other reason is it's one of the two cameras I have left. I have the Canon R7 and the Z6 III. That's all I have left right now until I purchase some new gear. So reiterate what happened with the theft. Very, very early in the morning before light comes up, somebody broke into my garage, broke into my vehicle, and took my camera case that I put in the night before to head out on a trip. I have an attached garage onto my house, and nobody can see me put my gear in the vehicle or any of that stuff. So somebody knowing I had gear in the vehicle was just a chance encounter. More than likely what's happened is a little nicer neighborhood in the area that somebody just decided it was a target of opportunity, or it could have been targeted just maybe they saw me and knew what I do and just took a chance trying to break into the house, because basically they broke into the house. They broke into the garage, they hit the vehicle, found something. They probably hadn't hit the vehicle. They probably would have came in the house looking around for stuff, hoping that whoever it was is still asleep in the house. And again, it could have been targeted because it was me, but I just think it was more of a random hitting the house type thing. But anyway, long story short, too late, I know. $30,000 of camera gear, gone. So I filed with my insurance, and it went towards my homeowner's insurance. So since I was in the house and the vehicle wasn't damaged or anything, if it had been away from the house, it would have been the car insurance that I had coverage on. And so it was with the homeowners. And it took a long time. Why it's taken a little over a month was because when they first went through looking at stuff, they didn't look at the whole thing. For some reason, they missed a lot of things, like a lot of the gear, a lot of the reasons for the incident report. They took a lot of assumptions. And just to let you know, I have State Farm as the insurance I have. And a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about is only with State Farm and with U.S. insurance. And it varies by state what your insurance is like, and I'm here in Alaska. So really, what I'm going to tell you is what relates to Alaska and with State Farm that I have. Now, State Farm is a very good insurance company that I've had all my life. They've settled out very well, but my first call with them when they sent me an offer was not good. So we talked it through, told them where I thought they were off, what was missing, what, only a part of the gear was in this settlement claim and all that stuff, that I'd sent them everything. So it took about 3 or 4 weeks before I got back with somebody again, and this time the person I talked to was extremely helpful. Worked and everything, and within 4 days I had a settlement, and they went through and got everything settled out, and I got a very amicable settlement. Not the full $30,000, but you wouldn't expect it because of depreciation, things like that. But I'm fairly whole again. And a lot of you guys said, hey, start a GoFundMe, things like that. If I hadn't got a good settlement, I probably would have, because that's a lot of money to lose in gear. But they've got a settlement with me, which worked really good. And it was a long process, took a long time, but it was a good process once I got talking to the right people within State Farm, and it went really, really well. I'm really happy with how they treated me at that point. The first initial, I was a little upset because it just seemed like a wrong person got hold of the case in the start. That's all it really was. It happens from time to time. But in the end, it worked out really good. So what were my biggest takeaways of learning from using my homeowner's insurance and kind of like the car insurance, but I went to homeowners, was settling a claim like with State Farm, to make sure you find somebody that's understanding and asking you the right questions. When the first people had it, I could tell they were asking me the wrong questions, but I tried to give them my information as distinctly as I could, but I should have known at that time. I should have made sure got somebody else on the line that was, asking me the right questions about the gear and things like that, and reiterating, like when I would tell them, hey, you don't have all the equipment, they're like, well, we got it. And I was like, with the next guy, I said, you don't have all the equipment, and he was asking the questions, well, what are we missing? Things like that. So that's what I can tell, is just to get the right person that's really going to work to your needs. And that's with anything you do. So what did I learn through this process of going through my homeowner's insurance, or like the car insurance, because it depends on which way to go, with State Farm that is they will cover your claim for your camera gear. A lot of people worry about, are they going to cover my camera gear if it's stolen out of a vehicle? Yes, they will. The things you're going to have to make sure you do is you have receipts and serial numbers for everything, and try to have pictures of it also. So what I would suggest is right now, if you got your camera gear tomorrow or this weekend, what you do is go get your little portfolio, take pictures of all your gear. On that gear, on the back of it, you write down the serial number or picture of the serial number and anything else about it that's pertinent to that piece of gear. And then you can put that in a file, and you can either take it to your insurance company and say, hey, would you like this stuff to say, here's the stuff I have, or just at least keep it on file. Because luckily I was able to get all that. And that's where I want to give a huge thank out to Stewart's Photo again. Bill and Brian were fantastic through this. They had seen this happen before, so they got me a good list of stuff. We went back and things I'd bought from them, and they went and got me the receipt, pre-printed the receipts off for me and things like that. Worked fantastic. Stewart's Photo here in Anchorage is awesome. And if you do need to order gear, sometimes you're looking online for gear, you can go to Stewart's Photo, and if you're in the U.S., you can order gear from them, and they will ship it out to you. They do all the time. So if you get on right there, you're looking for a 2-day-800. I think they got a 2-day-800 in stock right now. 600 6.3, I believe, also for the Nikon sitting in stock down there. If you need that, all you got to do is go to their site, check it out, see if they got it, and then just order right there online, just like you would any other store, and they'll ship it right out to you from Alaska. It's going to be awesome. But they were fantastic. But get a good list of that gear, have good pictures, have good receipts. That way you can prove that you did own the gear and it was stolen, and you have all the stuff for it. What they will do, though, they're not going to give you the full list price of it brand new, unless it's really, really new. Like the R5 Mark II, there's really not any depreciation in 6 months for that camera. But like my Z9, a couple of years old, it had depreciation on it, so I don't get the full $5,500 list. I've got less than that. So what they do is they settle out with the depreciation value, and then they have a thing they call a depreciation recovery. And so there's a few $1,000s in there. So what that means is basically if the camera costs new $5,500 and they have it down to $4,000, something like that, as depreciation, and you go buy your camera gear, but you can't find one at $4,000. Maybe you can only find it at $5,000 or $4,700. There's a bit of money they've got there that will cover that difference in the depreciation values. Recoverable depreciation value, I believe is what it's called, and that's how you'll get the rest of that money back. So you have a cash settlement they'll send you, and then they'll have this buffer money that you can recover once you send receipts in for the gear you bought to replace the other gear. That's the way that works. So that's the way State Farm works, and I believe most insurance companies do. And State Farm does cover camera gear and other stuff like that. The one thing that I really learned that I've been looking for a long time, but this incident forced me to go figure this out, is what we're always worried about is if you have your camera gear and you break it. You go falling down a mountain and the camera goes off the cliff and breaks, or you drop it in the ocean or the lake or a pond and you destroy it. What do you do then? For most of us, it's on you. You broke it. You're out of luck. But State Farm has what they call a personal article policy. And what a lot of people use that for is like engagement rings, wedding rings, camera gear, musical gear, stuff, things like that. Something expensive you want to take care of. And they have that personal article policy that you can purchase. So let's say you have a camera and a lens, maybe say it costs $12,000, something like that. So you can go to State Farm and insure that piece of equipment for $12,000, and it varies by state. It's different. So each state has a little different thing, so you got to go talk to your agent. And other insurance companies may have this, but State Farm has it, personal article policy. So it basically works out to be about 1.5% of whatever the restoration value is. So say you want to reinsure that camera, say it's $12,000 new, but you want to insure it for $10,000. It's going to cost you 1.5% of that $10,000. That's your annual policy is the way it works out to be. So the more gear you got, the bigger that policy is going to be. But it's usually, it could vary by your state, but most states are 1.5%. And I'm going to get that for my new gear when it comes in. I'm going to add on top of it. So that way, if I do go slide down the mountain, I don't not cradling that thing like a baby as I'm sliding down on my butt down the mountain. If it does fall out or go into the ocean, breaks on the side of the mountain, it will be covered. And that'll be a lot of load off this brain and this, heart from freaking out, because we all do it. When I'm walking on the docks, when we're chasing otters and stuff, I'm in the middle of that dock and I'm really got a hand on that camera in case I'm worried about if I slip and fall, or if the camera goes off and goes into the water, then what do I do? But now that I know about the personal article policy, which I'll get on my new gear, that's going to be a load off this mine. But just to let you guys know, shorter video today. This will come out probably tomorrow, Friday. You will get a Sunday video, and Sunday's video is one you're going to want to watch. This video is about the insurance settlement. The next video is going to be about what did I buy? What have I decided on? I went ahead and ordered the stuff already before I had my settlement because I couldn't wait any longer, and it actually came in. So look for Sunday's video. That's going to cover that. But that's pretty much it, guys, about the insurance, what I've learned from it, what happened with me, and that personal article policy is something I think everybody ought to check their insurance company and look into. And then I'll make sure you get a good list of your gear, serial numbers, receipt, all that stuff that you can have for the insurance company. If God forbid what happened to me happens to you, and I hope it doesn't. But as always, guys, look for the video Sunday. Until next time we talk, get outside and go run that shutter.